When Toy Story 5 was first announced, a lot of us had the same question. Does this film really deserve to exist? Let's find out. Today I'm reviewing Toy Story 5. This film has the really difficult task of justifying why it needs to exist in the Toy Story franchise. But surprisingly, there are several things that this film does that work exceptionally well. But there is also one creative decision that I couldn't necessarily get behind. By the end of this review, I'll let you know whether Toy Story 5 deserves to exist with the other 4 films, or if it should have just stayed on the shelf. So let's start with what works here. The biggest surprise for me is how relevant this storyline feels in our current age of technology. At its core, Toy Story 5 explores the impacts of technology on children. In a world where tablets, phones, and computers constantly beg our attention, this film asks an interesting question. Should we let it? But instead of feeling preachy, this film explores this topic from several different angles. Another thing that I absolutely adore about this film is Jessie's role in it. This doesn't just feel like Pixar giving Jessie more screen time because she's a character that people love. It genuinely feels like a continuation of her story arc that was covered in Toy Story 2. Her story develops naturally, and over time you really see why the film puts a spotlight on her. Of course, Woody's return to the franchise also works here and feels more organic than I expected. After the ending of Toy Story 4 and where Woody's arc ended up, I was kind of worried about how they would introduce him into the storyline here, but it felt like it needed to happen. And then we need to talk about Conan O'Brien's technology character in this film. He is really funny and brings a lot of laughs to the film. He also never overstays his welcome. Visually, this film is absolutely gorgeous. You can tell that Pixar has had many films under their belt because the animation just keeps getting better and better. From the lighting textures to the character animations to the playtime sequences that happen here, everything felt really, really nice. It's honestly amazing to rewatch the original Toy Story from the 90s and watch this film and see the difference in the quality of animation. And one storyline that really surprised me here with how emotionally effective it was is Bonnie's. Watching her struggle to make friends throughout this film feels incredibly authentic and real to the experience of many kids today. It's relatable without becoming overly sentimental, and I think that many parents and their children will find a lot of relatability in this story. And again, the playtime sequences work really, really well here. Just watching toys be toys, there's just something about it that reminds me of the original Toy Story that I really liked because it gave me a sense of nostalgia. I also appreciated the short runtime here. The film does not overstay its welcome. Fans of the series will also enjoy the many cameos of different toys from different films in the franchise that appear here. And finally, you need to stay through the credits because there's an after credit scene that does set up the next film. And it includes a return of a character that I personally like. Now, we need to talk about what didn't work here. And the biggest issue for me here is the Buzz Lightyear Star Command storyline. It feels strangely disconnected from everything else in this film, and for some reason, it is how this film opens, which just didn't work for me. Tonally, it almost belongs in a totally different film, ironically, one that would center around Buzz Lightyear more. Whenever the film decides to cut back to this subplot, it slows down the pace and kind of ruins the film a little bit at certain moments. When you contrast this subplot with Bonnie's storyline and Jessie's storyline, it begins to look weaker and weaker as you begin to look on the film. But I will say, the story never completely falls apart. These two plot lines effectively meet each other towards the end, which is predictable, but it does work. There is one omission that lifelong fans are going to be missing, and that is the You've Got a Friend in Me song, which is not present in this film ever. And for a franchise that is really closely tied to that song and what it means, and I think especially with this story about making friends, I feel like it needed to be here. Without it, something just felt missing. So, did Toy Story 5 deserve to exist? I think so, and it actually works pretty well with the other 4 films. And this is not simply because it reunites the original gang. It is because it establishes a meaningful connection with Jessie's character that has not been explored in the previous 4 films, but has actually kind of been foreshadowed. It's not perfect, the opening is awkward, and the Star Command storyline feels like it's an entirely different movie, but outside of that, it works pretty well. If you're a lifelong fan of this franchise or want to take your children to go watch this movie, I would recommend it. It's a good time. On the caffeinated scale, I'm going to give Toy Story 5 a Damn, that's a fine cup of coffee. I'm actually really interested to see where Pixar takes these toys next, but we'll have to see. Please let me know what you thought of Toy Story 5 in the comment section down below. Did you like it as much as the previous 4, or did you find it lacking in certain parts? Also, feel free to like and subscribe for more reviews coming soon, and I will continue brewing new film reviews for you very soon. I'll see you next time.